Welcome back to the MCG. People bathed in sunshine.
Probably what we didn't count on is the heat wave that struck Melbourne through that September period.
It was 28 to 21 degrees that day, which late September in Melbourne is a bit freakish. They were used to the heat.
There's an Essendon jumper being dried off there by their property steward down in the rooms. It has been particularly hot out there.
For us, hot's in the 30s. In the 20s is perfect.
It was typical Brisbane weather, so I thought this is in our favour.
It's just a belief that we were going to be the fitter, we were going to be the stronger, that the heat was going to suit us.
A big part of today's game, the players will be wearing this ice vest coming off the ground, and also a quarter time and half time. So this could be the secret of any side winning tonight.
We're probably groundbreaking in many areas over that time. Obviously had our refrigerated parts to cool the core body temperature down. There was a rumour going around that Brisbane guys were using the IV drip to obviously aid their recovery.
They tried to tell a story that they were, living in ice chests and refrigerators and all that sort of stuff. Some transfusions of keeping them cool, and I mean, you just don't know. It's a whole lot of bull dust.
To show them that, the IV was dead. A couple of our guys put the mark of respect tape around the forearm. If you go and look at the vision, it's quite amazing.
The Bombers are wearing a black armband halfway down their forearm.
Starcevic, their runner, I was on the bench, and came over and threw the black armband tape at us to obviously signify that stick it up yours, you blokes.
The Bombers going into the second quarter down by 5 points.
I felt that year was my best year I ever had in terms of being on top of my game.
The left footer is in a perfect spot here, and he's kicked the perfect goal.
To watch him play and to see how he could dominate games was amazing.
He just knew when to lead, had a great set of hands. It was just a super kick for goal. He's a champion of the game, Lordy.
Sizes up his options, goes in towards Lucas. Scotty Lucas has come in an enormous amount of territory.
Scotty and Lloydie were a great fall for each other. They played very well together, and you always knew if Lloydie was held, Scotty would pop up and vice versa.
Still being able to maintain possession, however, by flicking up towards Lucas. Strong mark. He's certainly got a height advantage over Chris Scott.
Scott Lucas has got to come off. He's got some blood, and I think it may have come off that clash with Luke Power because he's got some blood on his face as well.
He would often just stamp his authority.
Lucas coming in with the head bandage.
He was on fire too, that big left leg.
Tries to pop it over the top, doesn't quite succeed. Lucas, he's in a good spot for the left footer. Lucas, pick it up!
Probably didn't get the accolades as Lloydie, because Lloydie was was the poster boy, the glamour boy.
He was throwing the grass up a few times. I don't know how much it's told him though when it's going around in a circle as it comes down.
I mean, you got to laugh.
And so that actually does make you feel a little better.
5'11", never played full forward in my life. Why would I have the experience in telling a Matthew Lloyd how to play full forward?
Still the arm wrestle continues.
The goals are hard to get.
We'd got such a habit over the years of putting teams away early. And it's amazing the psychology of that is then you put the foot on the throat and the game's all over.
There's a big pack of players. Comes wide. Opportunity for McVeigh to flick it in towards full forward. Oh, an open goal. Thank you very much, says Blake Carousel.
We needed to be far enough ahead to stop a side that was in form.
He's one of the few players in the comp you give any chance at all. He's timed it sweetly. It's a good kick. It's going and going. They like it. He's drilled it. The momentum's with the Bombers, and suddenly a bit of frustration for the Lions too.
They started to stretch ahead, and that's when you sort of felt, are we going to blow our chance? And we couldn't get desperate. It was just really important at that point in time. Just stay calm. It will come.
In towards Brown, and Jonathan Brown, the 19-year-old from South Warrnambool, will go back and have a shot.
Dad played for Fitzroy and a couple of games for the Bombers.
It's a lovely kick, a delightful kick, and back come the Lions.
Although we were winning, we weren't playing exceptionally well.
Hurd stretching, can't hold it.
Very frustrating. Professional football, you pride yourself on performances in big games, and Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Towards the left half forward flank and paddled over the line.
Herd yet to have any influence at all.
You know, he probably an average game because he was carrying a bit of an injury.
He probably thought he could go out there and do what he normally does.
My attitude was that if he was out there, he was going to be at his best. I just had to do everything I could to stop him.
Herd, he may get a run at it. Bang! Here comes Hart.
Unbelievable, he came up with a footy.
Sean Hart, who was terrific that day, he hit Herd from front on and I hit him from behind and that knocked him around a fair bit.
Going head-to-head with James Herd over a contested football, and my helmet actually came off my head.
I thought it was his head, Sean Hart's helmet.
But it felt like Herd's head had to come off.
Then I ran into Sean Hart. I think it was in the second quarter. And my recollection of the game is almost non-existent. When you get concussed, I don't remember too much of it.
He decides to head to the open spaces. He'll certainly test Herd. Brad Scott is there with him. Scott turns him inside out, and he's away. He's been in very good form.
Great kick.
Lovely kick.
To shut out the opposition's very best player in James Herd.
It was a very pivotal clash for us in being able to have Brad Scott play on him.
Brad Scott and James Herd.
Trying to get up Herd a bit there.
I would have liked to have played better than what I did. I played a very good player that day in Brad Scott, who certainly gave me a lesson in football.
I was really conscious that I just had to wear him as closely as I could because he's a champion player, and if I let him dictate terms, he was going to dominate the game.
This time Herd gets a touch, much to the delight of Bomber fans.
Immediately something happens for the Bombers.
He just has a will of a champion.
My captains are leaders. They're just not titled.
He made everyone walk so much taller. Amor ready to run through a brick wall once he finished his pre-match speech.
Akermanis couldn't quite. Well played, Herd. Really well played. To Ramanauskas. Little gift to Lucas.
He has individual brilliance about the way that he plays, and we didn't have to do much for him to have an impact on his team.
Wobbles a punt up towards Herd. Starting to come into it.
And he's an amazing young man.
Build bodies flying everywhere.
We are now starting to crack them. It was probably a sign to us that it was, the last roll of the dice.